So, Naomi Scott obviously organised a nice day
Yeah.
to have a chat, and welcome to the Gold Coast, I guess, first and foremost.
Thank you.
How are you finding it, being on the Gold Coast?
I'm really loving it. It's been a really nice change. Moved up here 7 weeks ago now, so everything's still very new, but so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. The club Northcliffe's been super welcoming and really appreciative of that. Great bunch of people, yeah.
Amazing. And hey, you had an incredible summer just gone. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, maybe some of the highlights?
Yeah, last year was really hectic actually because I was in New South Wales at the time and we sort of had to train through lockdown in outdoor rock pools, so it was kind of a bit scary coming into the season, not knowing where everyone was at and if we'd done enough to get through the season. It managed to work out okay for me though. Ended up winning the MVP overall, which was great, and the overall swim series too. I think I came 5th in the iron series as well overall, so yeah, everything worked out pretty well in the end. But yeah, it was odd. The first couple of rounds of the Summer of Surf, we were racing down in Sydney. We couldn't actually cross the border for the first 10,000 round, but summer ended really well at the Shaw and Partners Northcliffe event, so that was really great, yeah.
And first ever time we've done announcing, I guess, an overall MVP. So knowing how many incredible women there are in the series, and you've probably grown up idolising some of them, how does it feel to now, when you were literally the most valuable person in the whole series, you won the most points across all the individual events? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise actually. I think when they announced it on the night, I was not expecting it at all. It's not really something that we've ever focused too much on before, so it was interesting to see. Obviously some people specialise in events, so they don't do everything, and other people tend to focus more on the iron or on the board or the ski or whatever. So yeah, I just kind of got in all the events throughout the summer and kind of ended up getting the most points. So I was quite surprised, but it was nice to know that I was up there in everything. I mean, being an iron athlete myself, it was nice to know that my swim, board and ski are all still strong, as well as my iron, so yeah.
And is that a focus? Like speaking with Jackson Borg, he was the same. He likes racing a lot. Do you enjoy racing a lot, and do you think it gives you a bit of an advantage, I guess, doing as many races as you do?
I love racing. I love training and I love racing. So yeah, I go in as many events as my coach allows me to go in usually. So yeah, I think the more racing that I do, the more comfortable I feel out in the water. I get used to the conditions better. It also takes the pressure off a little bit too when you do more races. If something happens, which it usually does in the surf, there's always more races to think about. So yeah, I've always been someone that races in as many events as possible growing up through age groups. I'd race 17s and opens, 19s and opens, so I've always had a pretty full program.
Nice. And first ever awards night we've done, did you kind of enjoy getting all the athletes there and announcing awards such as that?
Yeah, I think it was really great that we all got to come together and celebrate everyone's achievements and have a bit of fun on the night. It was definitely great to have Earl there as well, presenting some of the awards, and then there was the Dean Mercer Award as well. I think was really awesome, and I think Pooley won that, and that was great. I think it was really nice to have obviously the overall awards, but then those other awards as well on top of that to celebrate that surf is more than just racing. It's a bit more than that, yeah.
Cool. And obviously we just spoke off camera a little bit about the summer, and it's going to be announced in the next sort of 2 weeks. But does that make you excited, I guess, hearing what's in the pipeline? You obviously are like a young athlete still. Does it give you, I guess, are you excited for the summer ahead?
Yeah, it is really exciting. I mean, seeing the progression of Summer of Surf over the last couple of years has been a really exciting thing. Obviously, I'm an open athlete now, have been for a few years, so it's nice to see that there's lots of opportunities for the opens and also for the younger guys as well coming through, giving them some opportunities to race.
Cool. And did that play, I guess, a part of the decision for you to sort of relocate?
My relocation was probably more of a lifestyle decision. Moving up here was more of a thing that I wanted to do for myself. But yeah, it's definitely a plus that it was the epicenter of surf at the moment. So yeah, moving to Northcliffe was definitely a big decision for me.
And talk us through, you just mentioned before, so outside of training, what are you sort of doing up here on the Gold Coast?
I'm still studying online. I'm finishing my commerce degree at Sydney Uni, and then I am also a ward clerk at Gold Coast Private Hospital as well. So yeah.
And how are you finding juggling the training work-life balance? Probably, is this the first time living out of home for you?
Yeah, first time out of home. I've been working for a few years though, so yeah, that's not been too much of an adjustment, but definitely having to cook for myself every night. I definitely miss my mum's cooking. But yeah, it's been a bit of an adjustment, but I'm really liking the challenge of it.
And what's your go-to meal at the moment?
Go-to meal is spag bowl.
Nice, pretty easy one to do.
Definitely the easiest one.
So what are your goals for the summer?
My goals for the summer, obviously, Summer of Surf is a really big one for me, especially with the upscale that it has this year. So I'll definitely be focusing on all those 10,000 point rounds and a couple of the other ones as well. I have heard that there's a round at Manly, so it'd be nice to go back home to where I'm from and race there. But then also racing, my favourite event of the year is the Sharon Partners Northcliffe event. It's just epic, and there's always something happening wherever you look. And it's really great. So I'm excited for that. And also the series, I'll be trialling again for the Nutrigrain series this year. And obviously Aussies as well is a big one for me too.
Yeah, cool. And I know you mentioned at the very start about Northcliffe, but any other tips? What is it like? Probably a bigger girls squad than you're used to. Probably, again, you're training with some of the best ever. So how are you finding that sort of environment to train in?
Yeah, it's a very professional environment. I'm really enjoying it. Floodie's been an epic coach so far. She's really looked after me, and so has Wally and the rest of the club as well. So I'm definitely really appreciative about that. But also the depth of the girls squad that we have is amazing. Like, I get to train against the current Australian champion and the current Nutrigrain champion every single day. So it's definitely a bit, but yeah, I think it's really great, and I'm really enjoying it and stepping up to the challenge.
Yeah, awesome. And probably last one, who then I guess do you think is your biggest rival for the summer?
I think the biggest rival for the summer is myself, actually, seeing what I can get out of myself, and yeah, I think that'll be the biggest challenge, is getting out of my head.
Awesome answers, and thank you very much for joining us. Anyone you want to thank, I guess, while you're...
Yeah, sure. Definitely wouldn't have been able to move up here without the support of my parents, and also a big thank you to Manly Surf Club, who I've been a member with for the last 10 years, and also Northcliffe, who've welcomed me with open arms, and Sharon Partners as well have been a major sponsor for me for the last 2 years too. Dolphin Surfcraft, Bennett Paddles, Cozzy, Azure Ocean, yeah.
Awesome. Hey, last question actually, did you keep your trophy?
It's at home. It's in Sydney, Mum and Dad's house. I couldn't quite fit it in the car to get up here, but it's definitely a good token.
And do you ever just look at it and think, like, is that probably the coolest trophy you've won, you think?
It's definitely the most unique trophy I've ever had before, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, and very excited to watch you race this year, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.